It's Saturday. It's time for transformational TV. Okay, let's talk about divorcing your story. I am your transformational tour guide, Coach J Rose, and I want to talk about divorcing your story. There was a time when I was married to my story, my old story. That old story that kept me stuck, that old story that kept me in pain, that old story that kept me bitter. You see, pain had my microphone. There was a time when pain had my microphone. Pain had my microphone, and when my language changed, my life changed. There was a time when pain had the mic. Pain was, look at here, I was bitter, I was hurt, I was angry, and I was telling everybody about it. Don't do this and don't do that. And I kept talking about my pain. I kept touching that wound. I kept showing everybody the wound. I kept talking about the wound. I kept telling other people what they shouldn't do. I was so stuck in that story. And I'm no longer led by that pain. Okay? I'm no longer led by the pain. You can be led by the pain or you can be led by your healing. Excuse me. And so pain produced my purpose, because had it not been for that thing that I thought was like the worst thing ever that could happen to me, I wouldn't be here doing this. So pain no longer has my microphone. No, pain, you don't get to speak. It's okay. It's okay to be angry. Okay, but when it comes to reacting versus responding, we have to have emotional intelligence, right? There's certain things I cannot say. Yeah, I get mad, I get angry. Then I check in with myself. Okay, so what's going on here? Right? So I pull out my little handy dandy emotional wheel, because here's anger. That's the primary emotion. Then I go down here to the secondary, and then you have the outer emotions. So I'm mad. Why am I mad? Why am I aggressive? Why am I frustrated? Why am I distant? Why am I critical? I check in with myself. I don't check other people. I check in. Because a lot of times we say these people making me mad and people making me mad. They're not making you mad. It's something that's already there that you may have not been aware of. So let's check in, because emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your emotions and the emotions of others and respond according to that, right? So that's also social awareness. I'm able to pick up on cues from other people. I'm like, okay, so I know certain things I can say and certain things I can't say based on what I see them experiencing. Certain things, people like, just pick up on the social cues. Look at what people are saying, look at their actions, look at their tone. Like, just pay attention and move according to that. All right. So this right here is very good to have, especially for people who don't know how to express this. I'm just feeling some kind of way. Well, some kind of way is not on here, right? So let's oh, is are you feeling hurt? Are you feeling furious? Are you feeling enraged? Like certain things, let's break it down. Like, let's break it all the way down so you can understand it and so you can manage it better. Let's check in with that. So that's really not what I came here to talk about. I want to talk about divorcing your story, because sometimes so many of us can be caught up in our story and we begin to operate from our story. Well, I can't trust people. All this stuff always happens to me, and I'm just fine by myself, and I can do bad by myself, and I'm just single for life, and we can just stay stuck on that. So and so did this to me, and I don't trust people, and that's why I don't have no friends, and we can just that pain has the microphone. You can tell what has the microphone by what's coming out of your heart, right? Because sometimes life happens, right? And we develop these stones in our heart. And it could be hard, right? It's like, you know what? Nothing, you always negative, always critical, always judgmental. Something happened, right? So we got to go within. We got to unpack that. Because the lie that I used to believe was not feeling like I was good enough or worthy enough for love. So I would accept and settle for the bare minimum, right? I was stuck in my story. That was my story. I'm not good enough. People always leave. So, it's okay if I'm number two, because guess what? At least they're still there. It's okay. I'll put up with that. And it sounds crazy, right? But how many of us have done that? How many of us are doing that? Let's just be honest. Sometimes we settle based on the story that we're telling ourselves. You're not worthy. all people do this and it's okay, and all of the things, all the lies that we're telling ourselves. I used to tell myself so many lies, and I began to operate from those lies. I wasn't worthy enough. I wasn't good enough. People leave. Just like your dad wasn't there. They're not going to stay around. So you got to do all these extra things so they won't leave. That was the story. I had to divorce the story. If you want a different life, you got to divorce that story. Because if not, you continue to operate from that negative place, and that's what's going to come in. What you accepting, right? Is what you're thinking about. And so I was so bitter and so stuck, and I had to go. And here's the thing. Let me just say this right here. I was bitter and stuck, and I was ready to go back. Left the relationship, was complete, was done, but it wasn't done. I had one foot in and one foot out, ready to go back. Why? It was toxic, it was dysfunctional, it was abuse, and I was ready to go back. Why? I couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. Because self-sabotage is real, okay? There was nothing holding me back but me. Self-sabotage. An unconscious need that was being fulfilled by the sabotaging behavior. There was an unconscious need that was being fulfilled by that sabotaging behavior. And dysfunction junction. Okay, that's where I was at. That's the intersection I was in. Dysfunction junction. Ready to go back to what? Ready to go back. Why? Like, why? I was stuck in self-sabotage. And to overcome that, I have to go through the process of deep psychological excavation. I'm going to break that down for you. Psychological excavation is a process that examines what lies beneath the surface of the human motivation and behavior. So what's underneath that? What's underneath that self-sabotage? We got to get to the bottom of it, because we got to pull up those roots. In order to plant new seeds, we got to pull those roots up. The root of self-doubt, the root of low self-esteem, the root of not feeling worthy enough, the root of just bitterness. I had to pull those roots up, because if not, I would have continued to produce that fruit. And that fruit was rotten. Okay, that fruit was rotten. It was sick. It was harming myself. All right, self-sabotage is that sneaky little sniper. It's these things that are just unconsciously, we're not consciously aware of, and they're just taking us out. They're holding us back. There's so many things you said you were gonna do in 2024. Have you done them? And if not, why? Self-sabotage. It happens. It happens. And we have to be aware of those areas. Like, where do I get sniped at? Okay. So what's holding me back? What's stopping me? Because the only thing stopping you is you. You're in your own way. It's nobody else, it's us. These habits, our behaviors, our patterns, the story that we're telling ourselves. Well, I'll do it next year. Next year. Every year gonna be your year. There are things you're supposed to do that you haven't done. You're making excuses. Self-sabotage. We have to divorce that story. If you want a new story, you got to divorce the old story. Because had I not divorced that story, I wouldn't have not gotten married. I would have been like, you know what? Oh, well, I don't trust people, and people always leave, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not worthy enough. No, that's the old story. I had to divorce that story in order to have a new life, in order to become a new person. I love and appreciate that person for getting me where she got me, but she no longer runs the show. I can't let her run the show, because she didn't know where she was going at. She was people pleasing. Whatever they wanted her to do, she was doing. She didn't know who she was. So she let people tell her who she was. What do you want me to do? It was like a puppet on a string. What do you want me to do? How do you want me to do it? Where do you want me to go? What should I wear? How should I? I was like a puppet performing. People be like, oh, she just makes us laugh. Make us laugh. Do that voice. Do this. And I was just doing it. Couldn't even tell you why, right? Had to divorce that story because I was ready to go back to the dysfunction because it was normal. It was comfortable. It was what I knew. But it wasn't all I knew, okay? So we tell ourselves stories and then we act according to the story. Most of our stories aren't ours. They've been given to us by our life experiences. That's why you got to divorce it. Because it's just life happens. And then we just lay down and just take it. Who is tired of laying down just taking it? No, that is not how the story ends. It's not. You're writing your story right now based on the decisions that you're making. You're writing your story. Nobody else writing your story. You're writing your story every day based on your decisions. We got to make better decisions. We got to make decisions that are healthy for us. Because not only would these decisions that we're making affect us, they will affect our bloodline. Those generational curses are real. Those are things that was passed down to us. We didn't sign up for. I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up to be in poverty. I didn't sign up for the scarcity mindset. I didn't sign up for the abuse. I didn't sign up for the neglect. I didn't sign up for the incest. I didn't sign up for that. So there's so many things we have to divorce. We have to, come out of agreement with that. I don't know. That's not my portion. That's not how my story ends. It's not. Okay? We operate our lives and being according to these stories that we're telling ourselves. My question for you today is, what story are you telling? What story are you living out? What story are you living out? How is it going for you? How has it been going for you? And here's the thing. I don't care how long you've been living that story, that lie. I don't care. You can turn that thing around just by the choices that you make. And you have to go back. I'm gonna give you a tip on how to overcome this. Okay? Because when you've been living this lie, when you've been living this story and these lies for so long, you got to replace it with something. Because if not, you're gonna go back to it. Like I was ready to go back to that relationship, even though it was toxic, it was dysfunctional, it was normal for me. It's what I saw. It's what I accepted. It's what I thought I deserved. Okay? So I had to replace that. I had to replace going out, having a good time, hanging out with these people. I had to replace that with something else. I had to replace that with different relationships. I had to replace that going different places that were healthier for me. I had to change my whole entire life because I was headed down destruction. Okay? And people, look at it's so easy. It's so easy to do the wrong thing. It's easy. People celebrate you doing the wrong thing. Take that shot. Take that shot. Go on with that man. Go on with that man. Go ahead on. Get his number. People, look, it's so easy to do the wrong thing. People support you doing the wrong thing. Like they will. The wrong people. Okay? So you got to get around kingdom people. You got to get around people that want the best for you. Not people that's going to clap for you to do stupid stuff. Oh, you've been drinking? Oh, you ain't had but a few drinks. Go ahead and drive home, girl. You good. Call when you get home. That's the way you looking out for. Just think about the stuff that we say. I said it. I did it too. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm talking about me. People celebrate the dysfunction. It's so easy to do wrong. It takes courage to do the right thing. That's integrity, doing the right thing even when nobody is looking. Okay? So, has someone ever told you that you weren't good enough and you would never be anything and you believed it and you operated from this place unknowingly? Like some of the stuff that we're living out are things that people told us. You'll never be anything. You'll never amount to anything. You'll be just like your so-and-so. You'll be just like, you're going to be just like this person. You'll be just like that person. And unconsciously, this is what you believe. And unconsciously, this is your behavior. This is what your behavior is showing. This is what your habits are showing. Some stuff ain't even our stuff. It's time to divorce that story, right? Divorce the story. You don't got to get a lawyer. Maybe you got to get a coach. Maybe you got to get a counselor, a psychologist, whatever you need to do to divorce that story. You're worth it. You're worth it. You've always been worth it. Whether you have that person in your life or not, whether you accomplish that thing or not, whether you get the degree or not, whether you go to college or not, whether you start the business or not. You are enough. You are worthy of the best life that God has for you. Never forget that, okay? I always felt like I wasn't good enough and I had to do more to be seen and loved and not left. There were times when I was okay with being number two. You know what that is. They got a whole song about it. I left home to be with my side. They got so many songs glorifying dysfunction, right? and we listen to this song, we dance to these songs, we share these songs, we talk about these songs. They are toxic and dysfunction. They just are. Okay? And so we got to divorce this stuff. We have to divorce the story, the lies, right? The lies all around us all the time, right? You got to know your truth and you got to know your worth. I thought it was okay because in my mind, men didn't want to stay, so I must do more in order not to be alone, okay? And that was the biggest lie ever. That was the biggest lie ever. As I look back on my life, God saved me from me and my poor decisions, one after another. I'm so glad he saved me because I did not know who I was. I didn't know who I was, and I was making these decisions based on the lies. So a lot of times when I see things, people send me videos and stuff, and I'm like, that person, they don't know who they are yet, right? So I pray for them. I don't talk about them. I pray for them. I pray that they find out who they are and know that you don't have to post these provocative pictures just to be loved or liked. That first starts in the mirror. That starts in the mirror. Anybody else's like is extra. When I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror. I want to make sure that the person I'm looking at, I love you. I accept you for you. Period. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you wear. Okay? You don't have to do those things to get attention because you're going to get the wrong attention. So be mindful of that. We have to talk to our young ladies. You don't have to, every birthday, your clothes coming off. You got these birthday shoots, you in a tub, half naked. What is that about? Right? That's somebody who may not know who they are. They may not love themselves. And that's okay. Look here, been there, done that. I ain't telling you nothing I didn't do. I did it for attention. I wanted attention. I wanted the likes. I wanted the comments. I wanted that. I felt like I needed that to be fulfilled, to feel like I was accepted. So I know what it's like. That's somebody who doesn't know who they are. And it's okay. Just don't stay there. Just don't stay there, okay? You got to fall in love with the person you see in the mirror. Not what people are saying. Not what they're giving you, not what they're telling you, okay? Because sometimes people tell you anything just to get that thing. And you know what I'm talking about. So we have to make sure that we love ourselves enough to know not to settle and not to put ourselves out there like that, period, okay? So I want to give you some tips on how to divorce a story. First of all, you got to write out the lie in pencil. I want you to write out the lie in pencil. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Whatever that lie is, write it out in pencil. And then underneath that, I want you to write out in your truth, right? Say, for example, I'm not good enough. People always leave. I am worthy. God is always with me. He never left me. I'm enough. I was born enough. I'm here for a reason, right? So write out the lie in pencil, write the truth in pen, erase that lie, because we got to replace it. When you're uncovering those lies, because if not, you're going to resort back to it, right? So you got to replace it with something. Like say if you smoke and you're trying to stop smoking, you got to replace that cigarette, that blunt. You got to replace it with something else. Maybe you got to replace it with some chewing gum. Maybe you got to replace it with reading your Bible. Maybe you got to replace it with journaling. Because if you don't replace it, it's easy to go back to it. Okay? So that's why it's important to write it out, pencil, pen, erase the lies, keep the truth. Erase the lies, keep the truth. Okay? Do this until it feels complete. And that's what I meant to get. I meant to get my forgiveness cards because I want you to carry around. Also have forgiveness cards. So when something comes up, I forgive myself for settling. I forgive myself for believing lies. I forgive myself for not feeling worthy enough. So just keep those forgiveness cards, right? Get some index cards, and write whatever comes up, whatever you need to forgive yourself from. Because a lot of times we haven't forgiven ourselves, or maybe we haven't forgiven somebody else. And I know it's hard, but forgiveness is not for them, it's for you, okay? Forgiveness is for you, and forgiveness is for freedom, okay? Because when I fully forgave, my life began to change. My life began to change, okay? So I just stopped by to share this divorcing your story, because so many of us are operating from old negative stories, old negative lies. Okay, so we got to divorce that story. You must divorce the story. You must divorce those lies, because you're more than that. You've always been more than that. But you got to believe it. Can't nobody make you believe that. Can't nobody make you believe it but you. It's up to you. You can stay stuck in that old story, or you can begin to write a new one. And know that you always got these right here with your decisions. With your decisions. Okay? So you get to rewrite your story. You know what? That happened, whatever. That's the past. The past does not define me. The past cannot continue to hold me hostage. I forgive myself, I forgive them, and I move on in freedom and in peace and in love. That's all. That's all I stopped by to say. Pain had my microphone, but guess what? I took it back. Pain used to have my microphone. I talked about it. I shared it. I lived it. No longer. I divorced the story. I'm inviting you to divorce your story. If your story has you stuck and stagnant, divorce it. If it's not productive, if it's not positive, divorce it. How do you divorce it? You write out the lies in pencil. You write out the truth in pen. Because you got to replace it. You got to replace those lies with the truth. If not, you're going to go back to the lie. That's all I got. I stopped by to say it's time to divorce your story. If you want a different life, you got to divorce the story. And this might not be for everybody, and that's okay. It's for somebody. It may not be for everybody. That's okay. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's all. I'm complete. I hope y'all have an amazing day. I thank you for your time and your attention. And remember to divorce your story. I gave you the tips and the tools, so you get to use it or not. It's up to you. I don't know about you, but I had to divorce that story, because if not, that story would let me down a dead end. So I didn't want to continue to go down a dead end. I had to make a U-turn. And you can make a U-turn at any time. You can make a U-turn at any time. Divorce your story. Divorce your story. It's time. It's time. That's all. I thank you for your time and your attention. Until next time. Peace, y'all.